So yes people, welcome back to another video here on the J&M Football channel. So in today's video, I'm going to simply analyse Bruno Fernandes' game and pick out 3 things we can all learn from his game. So in today's video, as I just said, we're going to go through a few points I picked up from analysing Bruno Fernandes' game. If you missed the first video of this series, I'll leave a little taggy thing here in the corner and you can go and watch it. In that video, I talked about 3 main points we can learn from Lukaku's game. So if you're a striker, be sure to check that video out direct when he gets the opportunity. Now, another part of his game that he used to get a lot of stick for, I know when he was at Man U, when he was playing a lot, and he had. So I tried to pick out the points that are like not obvious in his games, like three points that any player can learn from, and like obviously Bruno Fernandes being a playmaker, stuff like that. He's very technical, good on the ball, stuff like that. So I tried to like avoid the obvious things and pick out 3 things that are like not as obvious but are still really good for any player to add into their game. The number 1 point that I picked up from watching clips from his game was the ability to play in front and behind the ball. So what do I mean by this? I mean by he can easily sit in front of the 2 centre backs as like a CDM and just ping balls left, right and centre. But he can also go into that cam position with his back to goal and find little pockets of space and be like the link between the midfield and the attack. So he can easily play like the number 4 or the number 10 position. But here in this clip, you can see he's obviously picked up the ball like in between, I think it's Watford's back 4 and their 2 centre mids. So now he's in between. He's like found that box of space, as you can see. So obviously he's in like the number 10 position and he's being the link between the midfield and the strike force. And then here is one good clip of him dropping deep, getting the ball and then pinging passes, longer passes, short passes. Here he's played in Luke Shaw with a great long ping, so he can comfortably play like come really deep short, or he can stay up high and play behind the strikers. And this is like a skill that not many players have, because you like normally have a player who does one or the other. Like say for example Kante, he sits in front of the centre mids, or Sergio Busquets at Barcelona, he's a good example. But then obviously you have other players like Cam, who are like David Silva, Bernardo Silva, players like that. But there's also another player who can do this, I would say, is Kevin De Bruyne. He also has the ability to like sit deep and like help defend and ping the ball, get on the ball. But then obviously he's also got the ability to go and attack and make things happen. Here's one good example. Again, he's found a pocket of space and he's got his back to goal. Obviously turns and plays the ball quickly. So he's comfortable with his back to goal and running towards the goal basically. Now the second point that I wrote down after watching his clips is that of how calm he is on the ball in tight positions. So like sometimes he has the ball and he's got 3-4 opponents around him, but yet he's so calm to look up and make a decision, and a lot of the times he makes the right decision. So just in tight places under a lot of pressure, he's able to stay calm and do something good with the ball, such as keeping it, getting a foul, playing the ball to a teammate, something like that. So here's a good example here of him being calm on the ball. Obviously, he receives the ball, he's got a player tight behind him, then he gets a bit of space and he looks around like 2 or 3 times and picks out the right pass. So he's really good at keeping the ball under pressure and just remaining calm. Again here, this may seem like a really simple play and a simple pass, but if you look around, this has 1, 2, 3, 4 players around him, and a lot of players in this position would panic. Obviously he stays calm, gets his head up and picks the right pass. Even though it is just a simple pass, a lot of players would panic in that position. Now here's probably one of my favourite clips of him that I saw when I was trying to find clips and like trying to watch his game. Was here, he's got 3 players around him. Obviously he's got, I think, Luke Shaw doing an overlap run. Is it Luke Shaw? I think so. And obviously he's got a player behind him. But he's so calm, he even stops the ball, puts his foot on the ball and waits for the perfect time, the perfect moment to release the pass. So like the amount of calmness he has, like you can see he gets his head up. He even puts his like foot on the ball, stops the ball completely, waits for Luke Shaw and plays a simple pass. But it's the ability to have that calmness and to not panic, and then obviously to play that pass with the right pace. And now the third thing that I wrote down about his game was the ability to create something out of nothing. So when he's in positions where it looks like not much is on, he's in tight places or just doesn't have many options, he still has the ability to get something and do something for his team. The first clip is against Everton, and he's got two defenders coming up against him, and it looks like he's just going to whip it in with the outside of his right foot. But just by doing a tiny move, he takes out two defenders straight away, and then he's got the space to drive into Everton's box and do something dangerous, obviously. So just by doing one quick, simple move, he's taken two defenders straight out of the game, and then he's got the space and the time to pick out a better cross. Another play from the Everton game was when he picked up the ball on the edge of the box, and he's obviously looked up to shoot or cross, and he doesn't see much, and he just takes a tiny touch to the right, and by doing that tiny touch, that gives himself the time and the space to then pick out a cross or shoot. And if you've seen that clip, he obviously shot and scored. But just by doing that tiny touch, he's made this huge amount of space and time available to himself to pick out a pass, a cross, or eventually shoot, which he does. Now, the second clip that I came across was against Man City, when in this free kick it actually looks like Fred's going to whip in because he puts up his hand just as Bruno pings the ball over. But it looks like Fred's just going to do a cross into the box, but then obviously Bruno sees someone running behind. He made the decision himself to play that player in, and like, this seems like a simple chip or play, but you have to make the decision. Well, first you have to see the run and see the pass you can play. Then you have to make the decision, should you do it, shouldn't you do it, and then in the end you have to pull it off. So all them three things within a second, and he obviously has the ability to do that. And at the end of the day, it was the right decision because Man U got a goal from this play. Now, the final clip I saw, this may seem like a really simple play and pass, but you can see he picks up the ball around the middle of the field, and he looks up a few times and doesn't see much. Like, he can play the ball sideways, but not much is going to come from doing that. And then he waits for one run, and obviously he's seen that run. But when you're centre mid, you normally have more options and more people making runs off the ball. But he's got one run, and that's one person to hit. And he has the ability to look up, see the run, see the pass, and then play it with the right weight and the right pace. So that here, just in this picture, you can see he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Norwich defenders or players in front of him. And he has the ability to see the pass and obviously play it with the perfect amount of speed, weight, and pace. So they were my 3 main points from Bruno's game that are not as obvious, or I wanted to pick points that are not as obvious as, like, obviously his free kick technique, his passing, stuff like that. I wanted to pick out things that aren't so obvious and that every player can learn from. So obviously number 1 was the ability to play in front and behind the ball. Number 2 was just being calm on the ball in tight places, tight positions when you don't see much. He has the ability to stay calm and get out of that, like, space or win something for his team, free kick, throw in, whatever. And number 3 was the ability to create something out of nothing. So again, when he's in tight positions or he doesn't seem like any runs off the ball or any dangerous plays, he still has the ability to do something for his team that ends in a good play or an opportunity for his team. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment on the player I should do next. So it'll probably be Kevin De Bruyne, Modric, someone like that. But drop a comment and let us know who you think we should do next. Please drop this video a like, as it helps us grow, and it helps our content get pushed to more and more people. Please subscribe so you can see our future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.